What's up, guys? Hey, Coach B here with tips for 19.5. Trying to get things done. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Someone walked by the door here. Tips for 19.5. So, basically what we have here is what I'm affectionately going to call Frankenstein. More than double Fran. So if you've done Fran, you know what that feels like, which means that this is going to take a lot longer than just double Fran, okay? Because there's, not just because there's more reps than double Fran, but that big expense on the front end, the 33 and the 27, is really going to take some serious stamina, which means that the smart play here is small sets from the jump. If you are really adept at thrusters and pull-ups, then you can take them in thirds. And in fact, I wouldn't even do the pull-ups in thirds. I would approach the pull-ups in 5s or 6s at the most from the get-go. And then the thrusters, same thing. Now, if you're really good at thrusters, if they feel really good, you can cut each set into thirds, which math-wise works out really great, right? A set of 33, 3 sets of 11. A set of 27, 3 sets of 9. Then 3 sets of 7, then 3 sets of 5, and then if you need to, 3 sets of 3. Okay? You can do the thrusters that way in thirds, but if thrusters are really new for you or it's a movement that you really struggle with, I would, from the start, go with no more than 5 reps at a time. It's just going to allow you to get through everything quicker, it's going to feel better, and you're going to be able to stay really consistent. And that's going to be important in a workout this long. Okay? For the most part, if you finish under the cap, you're going to be really close to it. So just plan on working for about 20 minutes here, guys. Now, that being said, if you're going to take a lot of breaks, then they need to be very tightly managed. So you need to have your eyes on the clock while you're taking breaks. So if I'm going to get my 5 thrusters, and then I'm going to set the bar down, I'm going to look at the clock, and I'm literally going to give myself 5 or 10 seconds, somewhere in that ballpark. It could be 5, it could be 7, it could be 10, but it's exact. And on that mark, so if I chose, I'm going to rest 7 seconds, at 7 seconds, my hands are on the bar, and I'm picking up the bar into my first thruster at 7 seconds. You've got to push yourself that way, or you're going to end up staring at the bar and chewing up time, okay? With the thrusters and finding a pace, this is going to be huge here, guys. And so this is training tip Thursday. When you pace thrusters, the best thing to do is what I call double breathe. So a lot of times, we're just taking one breath in, one breath out. Okay? Which can work, but we want to move more oxygen as we're taking a big range of motion like that. A thruster is a huge range of motion, a very complete movement. So we need more oxygen in and more CO2 out. So what I suggest is a double breath. So I'm going to take that breath in on the way down, okay? And as soon as I get to the bottom, I'm going to breathe out. I'm going to take a breath in on the way up, and then when I press to the top, I'm going to pause at the top and breathe out, okay? I'm literally going to pause here for maybe a second. It might be closer to a half second, but there needs to be an absolute pause at the top. Why? Because your lungs are open at that point. Yes, the weight is pressing down on you. Can it fatigue your shoulders a little bit? Maybe, but it allows you more oxygen in and out, which is going to save you in the long run. So here's what that looks like, guys. I'm going to have my good front rack position, okay? And I'm going to overemphasize the breaths so you can hear them. So I'm going to go in, out, in, okay? And so if I'm doing these at pace, this is what it's going to look like. So that's your training tip Thursday. But it's also your tip for the thrusters in 19.5. Now, when it comes to the pull-ups, okay, I'm going to set my hands, because this is so many reps, if you're doing the chest to bar, you want to set your hands slightly wider than normal. So if I would do my normal pull-ups here, I'm going to go just a little wider and place my hands on the bar a little wider. It gives me a little more room to move my chest through and make sure that I touch the bar, okay? I want to touch the bar on the way down, not on the way up, okay? If I'm doing butterflies. If I'm doing kipping, then it doesn't really matter, okay? Because I'm just going to hit the top and come right back down. But that slightly wider hand placement will allow you some more room in the shoulder to get the chest there. It'll also let you pull the elbows back instead of down. That's a lot of times when we're doing pull-ups, we're pulling elbows down. On a chest to bar, you have to pull the elbows back, okay, which is now going to arch my back and arch my chest toward the bar, okay? So make sure that you're getting your hands placed well. The other thing is, a lot of times you guys are going to jump and you're going to grab, and this knuckle is up, okay? I want to try and grab so this knuckle is kind of angled over the bar, pointing forward a little bit, okay? So when I grab, I'm going to grab here, so I have a little bend in my wrist. It's going to help me save my grip. This is going to get really grippy really fast. Know that. That's why the pull-up sets need to be shorter than thirds. I would go 3 to 5 reps from the jump just to conserve your grip. Take really quick breaks, okay? There's something that we teach, we call it the spieler, okay? You take your set of reps, whether it's 3 or 5, okay? If you're taking a bigger set, again, we're gonna watch the clock. We're gonna manage our rest, 5, 7, or 10 seconds, depending on the set that you do. Now, if your grip goes and it's down to singles, you are going to have to use what I call the spieler technique, which is come up, get your pull up, come down, and as soon as I come down, I'm going to turn, look at the bar, and go. Turn, look at the bar, and go. Okay? If you're doing singles, there's no rest. And if chest to bars are really new to you, I would do singles from the get-go and save your grip, give yourself a good pop, and keep your pace really consistent, okay? Now, on those first 3 big sets, 33, 27, and 21, break them into small sets from the get-go, no matter what. If you do that well, you're gonna have some reserve in the tank, which means on the 15 and the 9, you're gonna be able to push a little harder. And that's where you can make your money here. That's where you can push a little harder, take bigger sets, and get through before that cap. And if you're really close to that cap when you start your 15s, you're gonna have to just turn up the volume, go crazy, and try to get it done, okay? Now, all of those pull-up tips, if you're doing the jumping pull-ups, okay, it's kind of the same thing here, guys. Same grip. I want to have my knuckle forward as much as I can. I don't have to go quite as wide because I'm just going chin over bar. But if you take a slightly wider grip, you're going to be able to pull, again, elbows back and down a little bit, so not quite as far back as the chest to bar, but it'll keep you from going straight down and potentially missing that chin over. If I pull back and down a little bit, I'm going to get chin over every single time. So even if I'm doing the jumping pull-ups, I want to use slightly wider grip so I can pull my elbows back and down, make sure I clear every single time. Okay? Those are the things that I'm thinking about on 19.5. You got your training tip through Thursday. You got your 19.5 tips. I hope that helps, guys. Be smart. Get through this. This is a beast of a workout. This is going to test you. This is going to show you where you're at. This is what the open is all about. So now we can start thinking about, what do I want to do? What kind of challenges do I want to push myself through between now and October when our next open happens? And give us a target to gun for to get better in the future, okay? Use this workout, get through it, test yourself, and have a great time, guys. We'll see you tonight.